Hey, everybody on YouTube and on Instagram. I am going live rather randomly, and I feel like my computer screen is a little dirty over here on YouTube. So hold on a second. Let me grab something to wipe it off. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. All right, I'm back. But I'm here because two reasons, right? And I hope um, hey to everybody over on Instagram and over here on YouTube as well. So I was having a conversation with somebody today, and she told me someone who I respect a lot, someone who has spoken a lot of life into me over the years, and she said to me that this season of my life was about surrender. The season I'm moving into in my life is about surrender. And that's hard for me. That's real hard for me because I'm a planner, right? I'm a planner. I like to know what's going on. I'm not a procrastinator. I get shit done. I'm a mover and a shaker, and I am self-motivated, right? So I don't need a lot of like outside people or things to like tell me what to do. Like I kind of, and I figure stuff out. So for me to be, and with that comes a level of control, right? Um, so for someone who is like that, being told that your next season is about surrendering to whatever comes is it's challenging, right? And what's up to you guys on YouTube? What's up to you guys on Instagram? Say hello to me. Say hey. Let me know where you are watching from, if you are watching on Instagram or on YouTube. And so I was cleaning my house today, and I'll tell you about why I was cleaning my house in just a minute, because that's very important to the manifestation I'm talking about in this video. I was cleaning my house today and very tired and just feeling sweaty and kind of gross. Spent, because it's been a hell of a week, really challenging for me, not in a bad way. Nothing bad has gone on. It's just been like thing after thing after thing. Like I'm a planner, right? So I know what my week is going to look like. I know what my son's schedule is going to look like. But every little thing kept coming in. It's like, oh, so and so is in town, and somebody on his dad's side of the family is in town and they want to see him. Okay, great. Well, I'm going to make that happen. How do I make that happen amongst all the other stuff I got to go on do? I got to drive him 40 minutes away to make that happen or whatever, right? And so I'm making things happen, as I always do. However, I'm tired. I suddenly now got to, not suddenly, but I have to clean my house. I got to get things together. And in the season of surrender for me, I was just sitting there cleaning my house, and I just felt this presence. I'm going to say it was the presence of God to remind me that I am currently living in the prayers that I prayed, right? And something said to me, tell people about this. Remind them, as I'm reminding you, that they too are living in their prayer right now. And I'm not a preacher. I'm not a pastor, right? I'm a believer, but I'm not none of that, right? And it was just this force that said, go live on a day you don't normally go live, in the middle of the cleaning, and tell people that they are currently living in the middle of their prayer, and they don't even realize it. And in fact, they are complaining about what they have right now because they don't realize they prayed for this. Okay? And so let me just share with you, and I could cry right now, you guys. Y'all gotta forgive me if I get emotional, okay? I got my tissue here just in case, so y'all can see it on YouTube and on Instagram. I'm a little emotional about this because as I'm saying this out loud, it's different than when you are thinking it, right? Because when you're saying it out loud, you actually hear yourself, right? And so when I was just thinking it earlier, it was just like, oh wow, I am in the middle of my prayer. And I'm telling you how I manifest exactly what is happening to me right now. And I am so grateful So immensely grateful, because if y'all knew what I was going through last year, I really didn't know if I would be here this year. I really did not. I wasn't suicidal, but the Gwen as I am right now, I didn't know if this version of me would be here. I really felt as last year as though I would not have any joy in my life again. And I'm a joyful person. I'm a happy person. I'm a colorful person, you know, generally. And what I was dealing with last year took me so far out of who I was that I was literally a shell of myself. If you are watching on YouTube, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Let's get these likes up so this can spread, because this message really needs to go out to a lot of people. Okay? Because we don't understand how we are living in what we wanted, but we are complaining about it because we don't realize we're living it. So let me explain to you. So last year, I'm a very transparent person. Like, if you follow me on YouTube, you know I made a whole 45-minute video on the bullshit that I was dealing with last year. Okay. And I really didn't know if I find joy. Now, joy and happiness are two totally different things. Okay. Joy and happiness are two totally different things. Happiness can be external, right? Other people can make us happy. Having certain things can make us happy, but joy is an inside job, right? Joy is something that only comes from within. And although there were times when I was happy and I would post pictures, and in those moments I was happy, I didn't have joy. And I didn't know if I would ever get it again. I would remember sitting on my sofa this time last year, flipping through channels. I am not a big TV watcher. I got like 2 shows I watch. I watch Abbott Elementary, I watch BMF. Oh, and I watch the Fresh Prince show. What's it called? Bel Air. That's it. I got 3 shows I watch. Outside of that, I don't really watch TV, right? But I was just sitting on the couch, zero ambition. I just told you I'm a self-motivated person, right? I get up, I get things done. You know, I'm up early. I'm 5:30 in the morning. I'm going to the gym. I am. Once I'm done with the gym, I'm moving on. I'm getting work done. I'm checking things off my list. You know, and I'm a productive person. I don't believe in busyness. I believe in productivity, right? And that was not me. Like, that person was gone. That person did not exist. And I longed for her. I yearned for her. And I did not know if she was going to come back, because I had opened a business, a third business, was very, very excited about it. Open that. And for anybody who's an entrepreneur, if you're an entrepreneur on here, please let me know. Even if you're just starting, let me know on Instagram or on YouTube. If you're an entrepreneur, will understand this. For many of us, our businesses are like our babies, right? We put so much of our heart and soul into those businesses. We put so much money into those businesses. And sometimes, unfortunately, they can take away from like our family lives, right? So we're sacrificing our family at times for this business, because we're hoping that this business will provide us with a better life for our family, right? Thank you so much on Instagram. I love you guys. She said, thank you so much. She said, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Somebody else said, thank God you are back. Somebody else said, she also said, or he or she, I'm sorry, also said, joy comes from the Lord. That's 100% accurate, 100% true. I appreciate you guys in the comments. Thank you so much for being here and listening to the story that I'm telling now, okay? And so I was saying that, you know, I started this third business and I put so much of me into it. And I promoted it and it did really, really well. But within 12 months, I had to close that business. And it wasn't because we didn't have enough customers. It wasn't because we weren't making enough money. It's because we had a lot of staffing issues. And, you know, you'll hear people say, those entrepreneurs, y'all know here on YouTube, y'all know on Instagram, we've always said people don't want to work, right? People don't want to work. And I'm not going to say everybody that was there didn't want to work, but some people not everyone has the same work ethic that we do. To be an entrepreneur, to be a true entrepreneur, you really have to have you have to be a little bit crazy in the head, because you have to believe in yourself so much that you're willing to risk your livelihood, your family time, all these sorts of things on the hope and the prayer that this thing is going to work out, right? And so not everybody has that wherewithal, right? So opened the business, didn't work out, had to close the business. And that took so much out of me. At the same time, I was dealing with a extremely unexpected breakup with someone that I was deeply, deeply in love with. And the crazy thing is that I had to end that relationship. So I broke up with him because I'm not going to get a whole lot into it because I've shared that several times, but basically I had to end it for my mental health. Okay. And I could no longer allow this person to emotionally abuse me because I love me. Right. And I cannot love someone more than I love myself. That's ludicrous. Right. So to allow someone to be abusive even in an emotional way, right, is not going to work for me. Okay. And I did not want to have to leave this situation, but I realized that if I didn't, he would ruin me. And so when that breakup happened and the business closed at the same time, and I also had a very, very close friend that I had to remove from my life because she was doing some things that didn't align with my values, and she knew they were wrong. And I'm not going to put her business out there, but friendship breakups hurt too. So here I am going through the friendship breakup, the romantic breakup, and the business breakup all at one time, right? And in the middle of that, thank you, Beverly. I'm so glad I'm back too. Thank you for being here. So in the middle of all that, I remember praying and asking God, like, why is this happening to me? I don't understand. I don't understand why I'm going through this, because I mean, I feel like I'm a pretty good person. I mean, I'm sure I sin, like we all do, but I feel like I'm a pretty good person. Like I ain't stole nobody's man. I pay my taxes. I'm like, what is this karma that's going on, God? I need some answers. Like, help me understand. And in the middle of that, I was just overcome with this urge to pray for the things that I wanted. And this was 12 months ago. It's incredible what 12 months can do. So if you are going through anything in your life right now, please know that 12 months, not even 12 months, 6 months can make a world of difference. Because for someone who felt like 12 months ago that I would never know myself again, that I would never be fully Gwen, that I would be a shell of myself, flipping through channels with zero ambition, to be here, I am in awe. I am in awe that I'm not where I was. So let me tell you what I asked for and what I worked to manifest so that I could live it, and how you might be probably are living in your dream life right now and you don't realize it, and you might be complaining about it, not realizing this is what you prayed for. Okay. So back then, because I had to close the business, and I told you I'm a pretty transparent person, right? So when I closed the business, I was incurred with, people think when you close a business, you just close it and then that's it. Like nothing else happens and you just kind of move on with life. That's not how it happens. You close a business and you are oftentimes ridden with the debt that comes with that business. Okay. And so here I was, a generally very good person with money, suddenly stuck with hundreds of thousands of dollars that I had to pay back 12 months ago. Okay. Yes, for the things he has done. Thank you, Happy MEV. Happy Mev. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm just like, how did I get here? Again, this doesn't happen to people like me, right? I'm good with money. I don't overspend. I don't own a single Louis Vuitton bag. I don't take crazy, ridiculous trips when my bill's not paid. Like, I got my trust set up. I got my estate documents set up. Like, I am responsible with money. And I call myself being a good steward of what I had been given and gifted by God. But yet here I was in this space and in this place where no one would have expected me to be, right? If you Google my name, you'll find lots of media. Gwen Jameer, Naturalicious, first Black woman to own a patent on a natural hair care product, and all that stuff is true. That does not make me exempt from things that I cannot control, right? I could not control that the business failed. I did everything in my power to make sure this business didn't fail, but it did, right? And with that came hundreds of thousands of dollars that I had to pay back. Where am I going to get this money? Oh my goodness. Y'all, I'm just being real with you. Last year, my son, well, he's 13, right? At the time he was 12. And it's not to say that we weren't broke, right? But we definitely were not in a comfortable position, right? He asked me for Crocs because he's 13, 12. They were Crocs, right? And he's also a boy, and so he tends to run through his clothes, right? So these Crocs had holes in them, and he was like, "Mommy, I need some new Crocs. Can you buy me some new Crocs?" And I had to tell my son, "We can't get the Crocs right now, babe. We can't get the Crocs right now. Crocs were $45. Crocs were $45. It's not that I didn't have $45, but I needed to do other things with the $45, right? I didn't have disposable income available to buy other things. So I was like, you have to wear some of these other shoes you got here because I can't do it." And you know what? I feel a freeness in saying this because I feel like there are so many people who have had successes because there's ups and downs in life, right? And when the downs come, they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to share it. They want to act like everything is peachy keen all the time. And that's just fake. It's fake and it's not reality. Shit happens to people, right? And for some reason, we as entrepreneurs, maybe even Black entrepreneurs, maybe just Black people, we take it on the chin as if it's a reflection of us as a person, right? We take it as if it is like I'm a failure as opposed to the business failed, right? Like, no, you are not a failure. This didn't work out and you'll do something else, right? So nevertheless, could not buy my son these shoes that he needed or wanted. And, you figured out some things, whatever, moved some money around, paid what I had to pay and got in whatever he needed. But we were used to just like, hey, you need this? We're going to go get this. And I found myself feeling as if I was back in when I started my first business, which was Naturalicious. And when I started that business, I had $32 in the bank and no money, really. And I was a single mom. And I just felt like that was 10 years ago at the time. And I'm like, oh my goodness, are we back here again? How is this fair? How do we get back here? When I worked so hard, I've been a great steward. Like, God, why are you allowing this to happen to me? And in that moment, I prayed and I said, you know what? I don't know how you're going to do it. I don't know what is going to transpire, but I need you to eliminate this debt. I need you to help give me the money to pay it. I need you to cancel some stuff. I don't know. I am literally surrendering to this because this is beyond anything that I can comprehend right now. I don't know how I got here. Again, I wasn't frivolous. It happened, right? And in that moment, I felt triumphant, even though I was still in the trenches. Like, give me some like hearts or comments or something if you've ever felt that, where it's like you don't see no kind of light, but you're like, somehow, some way, you're gonna have to make this happen. And you just feel like almost like a calm in that. Like, it's out of my hands. And I remember getting on Instagram and I was so overcome with grief because I had been in this situation, this financial situation that I was like, this is nuts, right? How did I even get here? I had gone through this breakup with this person, right? And my mom had passed away a year and a half prior, but I really hadn't I mean, I had obviously grieved, but I hadn't really grieved because I immersed myself into work, into this new business that I was starting, which she wanted me to do, right? So when all this happened and there was no more business, there was no more relationship, my mom was gone, all I could do was cry. And mind you, I'm not a crier, right? If you see my eyes moving back and forth, that's because I'm looking on Instagram over here and YouTube over here, okay? I am not a crier. And so all I did was just cry and cry and cry. And I got on Instagram and I just said, you know what? If you don't deal with grief, grief will deal with you. And that is what was happening to me. And so I just told God, like, listen, I need you to tell me what to do. I need you to eliminate some stuff. Like, this is crazy. And fast forward to today. Okay. Here's when I realized that I was living in my prayer. So amongst that prayer, with that prayer and amongst other things, I also prayed for my son and I prayed for me. And I said that I prayed for my son to have experiences. Now, he's been all around the world. He's been to almost every continent except for 2. But I wanted him to have like regular experiences that would change his life and allow him to serve God. Right? And I asked for that. I also said that I wanted him to be a social person. I wanted him to be likable. I wanted him to have a circle of solid friends, right? Because the real friends, as y'all all know, are really hard to come by, right? Thank you for the hearts over here on YouTube. I appreciate y'all. Really good friends are hard to come by. And some of my closest friends are people who I've known since I was like in preschool. And so I wanted him to have a solid circle of friends. And I knew that he was 12. He was, starting to like girls and all that sort of stuff. And he was about to be turning 13. And it's very important to me that I'm not raising an F-boy. That is like really, really important to me. Because I be seeing these folks that's out here and I'm just like, wow. Like, I can't believe some of the things that be coming out of these men's mouths. Right? Some of the thought processes that they have. And I was like, I do not want to raise an F-boy. I need him to be respectful. I need him to be a gentleman. I need him to think highly of women. I need him to, I realize I'm raising someone's husband, right? I'm not raising him for me. I'm raising him for the world. And I need him to be, desperately want him to be a good man when he grows up, right? To my daughter-in-law, right? Because me and my daughter-in-law, I already got plans for her. Like, me and her, we're gonna be real tight. We're gonna be real tight, And so fast forward to today, you guys. I was so all this week, I told you all when I first got on here, I told you that I was stressed out this week because my son, he had like all these different activities he was doing. He's going on a mission trip with our church on Monday, or tomorrow, actually, 6:30 in the morning. He's going on a mission trip with the church. He's going to be gone for a week. So I had to pack his bag, and he's got all these requirements that they have to have in the bag, and like all these different things I had to buy and set him up with. And then his cousins on his dad's side came into town unexpectedly, and they hadn't seen him in a while, so they wanted to see him. So that wasn't part of the plan. So I had to figure out how to make that happen. I had to drive all the way 40 minutes away to get him over there to see them. And then I had to drive back because he had a meeting with his mentorship group and his little friend group. He had a meeting with his mentorship group today, but last night he had a party with his friend group. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get all this done? Then at the same time, I have friends. I'm having an event tomorrow. I have friends coming into town. I got to clean my house. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to have time to clean my house? And, all that sort of stuff. And I'm complaining or feeling like I'm complaining because I'm just like, this is too much. And this is where God stopped me. And he said, this is what you asked for. How dare you complain? I just told you, I asked for him to have experiences that would change his life and allow him to serve God. He's going on a mission trip tomorrow to build houses with the church. And he's gone for a week. How dare I complain that I have to pack a bag, right? That I have to pack a bag and go buy stuff for him to go do what I asked for him to be able to do. I want you to think about this for yourself. Are there things that you've asked for, and when they come to pass, you start to stress out about them and you complain about it, not realizing that it is something you asked for? I asked for him to have life-changing experiences that will help him be a servant of God. I mean, here we are. 12 months ago, I was asking for this. Okay. Here we are, going on a mission trip with the middle school ministry at the church that we go to. And he's excited about it. Like he volunteered for this, right? It's not free. I had to come up with the money to pay for it and all sorts of stuff. You know what I mean? But it's like, this is what you wanted for him. This is what you wanted for his life. If you've ever had a moment, thank you, Beverly, and congratulations to your son who just got married. I'm so happy for you. If you've ever had a moment where you realized that you were in the middle of your prayer, let me know in the comments. Because it happens and we don't recognize that we're right in the midst of everything that we wanted, right? I asked for him to be social and to be likable and for him to have a solid set of friends. So last night, he had a party that he had to attend with his friend group from his Black Boys Mentorship group that he's a part of. Now, when he was 5 years old, I signed him up. I put him on the wait list for this mentorship group. It's very popular in Detroit. If you're from here, you know about it. It's called the Cave of Adullam, right? I put him on the list when he was 5 years old. He didn't get off the wait list till he was 11, right? That's how long the wait list was, okay? But when he got off the wait list at 11, I was kind of a little like, dang, why did it take him 6 years? But this is the age that he needs that, right? And so he went through this like rite of passage with this group of 20 other boys, 19 other boys. And they have like this like solid stone cold friendship with each other, right? And so now that the program has ended, they have monthly meetups, but now they are like me and another mom are trying to make sure that they like still stay connected, right? Because they all go to different schools. And he had a party to go to with that group, the solid set of friends I asked for. But here I am, stressed out because I got to drive all the way 40 minutes for him to go to this party, right? With the group of friends that I asked for him to have. These are not just like random school friends. They've all gone through this like mentorship program. So they're all like, they've got this like bond, almost like when people like, when they pledge a fraternity or sorority, or if, you've been in the military, like, the people you go through that with, you tend to form a bond with, right? And so this program was like very intense for a whole year and a half. And he had a party to go to, and he's still connected to those people. This is what I asked for him, right? And he's all excited to go to the party. Today, he had a meeting with the same group of boys, the official team, the official meeting, right? So I got to drive him back down 45 minutes away, right? Again, these are the prayers that I asked for his life. Here we are in the middle of it. So here's the lesson in all of this. And there's more, right? I'm going to tell y'all the rest. But here's the lesson. What you pray for may not manifest in the way that you're thinking that it will look like, right? Because when we pray for something and we're hoping for something and we're affirming for something, a lot of times we're assuming that it's going to manifest with this, like, roses and rainbows, and there's not going to be any challenges within. Everything's going to be perfect, right? But with certain things, other things have to happen, right? So it's important that we understand and we recognize when our manifestations have come into fruition, and we're grateful, because the more that we live in gratitude, the more we will be given to be grateful for. That's how it works, right? The more we complain about things, the more we will be given things to complain about. So if you want abundance, you want joy, not just happiness, right? You want joy, you want abundance, you want wealth, if you want deep family relationships, if you want all of that, be grateful for these moments that you have those, because you will be gifted with more things to be grateful for. But if you complain about them, you will be gifted with more things to complain about, right? Like the universe and God and the world is very reciprocal, right? So I also told you that I was very adamant. If you're here on YouTube, do me a favor and click the like button. And if you have not yet subscribed, click subscribe for me. Okay. Same thing with you all over here on Instagram. I said I did not want my son to be an F-boy. I just don't. Like, again, and y'all, I'm sure you see what the stuff that these people be talking about. And you're just like, I'm just like, who raised these men? And it's probably not even the parents' fault. Sometimes it's just the kids, right? Sometimes it's the boys, the grown men, right? Boys turn into grown men. And I'm just like, I'm raising someone's husband, and I need for him to be a good man when he's an adult. And the only way he's going to be a good man when he's an adult is if he starts out being a good teenager, a good young man, a good adolescent at this age, right? Because we just get better at what we already are, right? It's not a whole lot that changes, right? But it's very important to me that he is a good preteen, good teenager, to the young ladies that he engages with, right? So he has a girlfriend, y'all. I love her. I adore her. They've known each other since kindergarten. And I'm so happy at how he is about her, right? Like, here's the thing. Her birthday is Monday, and he will be out of town at the mission trip for the church that I pray for him to be a part of, right? He'll be out of town. Her birthday's Monday. She will also be out of town at like an amusement park or something. So really the only day, he had all this stuff going on this weekend. The only day they really had to get together was yesterday for a very small amount of time, like 2 hours maybe. And they live about 20 minutes from us in the opposite direction of where we had to go, right? I had to drive downtown, which is 40 minutes from me, but I had to drive 20 minutes in the opposite direction, which means I had to drive from her house to downtown for this meeting he had to be at, this party he was doing. It's an hour drive amongst all the other stuff I got. I'm like, like, you need to hurry up and turn 16 so you can get a car and a license, sir, because you ain't contributing nothing to the gas. You ain't contributing nothing to the time. And so he was like, we got to get her a present. And so I'm like, so I'm gonna make it happen though, right? So I'm like, okay, well, let's go buy her a present. So we go to the store. He finds a few things that she likes. She really likes the color pink. She's like a very much a normal 13-year-old girl. She likes the color pink. She's very girly. And so he sees some things he wants to get for her. Cool. We buy the presents. And we drive 20 minutes to her house. He is so excited to give her this gift. And he was like, I have to see her today. I have to give this to her because I'm not going to see her. Like, I'm going to be gone for a week. And then who knows, we may not get together for 2 weeks, but I got to make sure that she feels special on her birthday. And I was so grateful for that, right? Because it's like, he was saying this on his own. Like, he wanted to make sure she was good. But the more important thing for me is when we got to the house. When we got to her house, he was outside for a minute and her mom had gone into a different room. And I asked the girlfriend, I said, is he good to you? Is he good to you? And she said, oh, she's like, he's so nice. He's so sweet to me. So much. She was, this is 13-year-old girl was turning 13. She was like, there's so many boys at my school who are just mean and rude, and like they ghost their girlfriends, and they're, they act real funny. And Caden, he's not like that. He's very respectful. Like, he's very good to me. And at 13, like, that made me so happy, right? Like, I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad. And so him and her ended up going outside, and they played basketball and did some other stuff. And me and her mom were sitting there and we were talking. And she was like, he's such a great, and it's one thing for the girlfriend to say it, right? But the mom was gonna keep it real. So she was like, he's such a great first boyfriend for her. I don't know if they'll be together forever or whatever, but I'm so glad this is her first experience with a boyfriend, because this sets the bar for her. And that's important to me. And I told her, I was like, well, if he ever is rude, if he ever is not on point, if he ever doesn't offer to pay for the dates, if he ever, whatever, please let me know. Because I'm attempting to do my best to raise a gentleman. I'm attempting to raise a great husband one day, right? For someone, a fantastic father for someone one day. It's important that he knows this stuff. So the prayer I prayed a year ago, that my son is respectful, a gentleman, treats women well, like, we're on that path, right? These are things that I prayed for. But I'm annoyed in the moment. I'm not really annoyed, but a little like, oh my God, that I have to drive 20 minutes out the way to drop off this gift. You know what I'm saying? Like, this, like, I'm living in the prayer, right? That he has these fantastic experiences that allows him to change the world and allow him to serve God. He's going on the mission trip, to be social and have a solid set of friends that he can count on and rely on. He's got this mentorship group of boys that he's got this bond with. To not, to be a respectful gentleman, great human being that treats women well. We're doing that, like, all these things that I pray for. But with that comes some sacrifices. With that comes when you gotta buy a bunch of stuff that you didn't expect to have to buy to, like, get him ready for this mission trip. You got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and get him on the bus to the mission trip. You got to drive him all around the state of Michigan to do all these different social activities that you want him to have. You have to drive out the way to the girlfriend's house to buy the gift for the girl. Da, da, da. All these things are things I wanted, but with that comes other situations to make that happen. So if you are in the middle of something that you pray for, I really want you to think about the things that you've prayed for. Okay, think about the thing, YouTube, think about the things that you prayed for, Instagram, think about the things that you've asked for, that you've affirmed for, the things that you've written affirmations for, the things you wrote and said, I will have such and such. Do you have any of that right now, or is it on the way? And if it is, check yourself if you find yourself complaining about it. Okay, now let's talk about me. So when it comes to me, I told you last year I had to, like, lose a couple of friends because they were kind of like doing some stuff that they shouldn't have been doing, and I'm not really with that. Right? So birds of a feather flock together, and I wasn't flocking the way that they was flocking. So I had to pump the brakes on that. Okay. And I asked for friends who show up for me, because I show up for my people as much as I can, like, within reason, right? Like, I show up. And I think I was just talking to somebody today about this. Y'all let me know if y'all agree. I feel like people really show up for funerals. We show up hard for funerals, but we don't show up while people are alive, right? We show up when people have passed away, and it's too late. It's too late at that point, right? We want to show up and we want to talk about how much they meant to us and how they were a great person and all the things that they did for us. But when they're having a anniversary, a celebration, a performance, anything, right? We're like, oh, we'll do it next year. We'll do it next time. I'm too busy. I'm too tired. Like, you don't know that you're going to get a next time. Life is not promised to us. We are all here on borrowed time. And unfortunately, any one of us could be gone in the next second. We don't know when God's going to call us home. And so for that reason, I do my best to make sure that I show up for people, right? If you're having an event, if you're having a thing, whatever, like, I'm going to move what I can around to make it happen, because I understand that I don't want to be the one that only shows up when you pass away. I just think about all the people who showed up to my mom's funeral. I hadn't seen these people, some of these people, since I was a child, and I'm far from being a child. I'm older than I look, right? And I'm just like, where have you been? I forgot you even existed, right? But they want to come, they want to talk, and I'm grateful for it, right? They want to get on the mic and talk about all the things that my mom did for them, all the grateful things how happy they are that they knew her, and da da da. Where have you been for the past 40 plus years? She never heard from you. You didn't come to any of her events. You didn't show up to any activities. Where have you been, right? So people always want to show up for the funerals, but you don't want to show up when folks are alive, right? And like now we say this term, give them their flowers, right? My mom was saying that long before it became a thing on social media. But yes, not just give them their flowers and like affirm them and say great things about them on Instagram and on Facebook. Show up for them. Your presence is a present. Your presence means so much more than any words you could ever say, right? Your presence is vital, you know? And so for me, I show up for people because I understand this, right? And I realize not everybody thinks like this, and I've had to do a lot of like internal mental work to understand that not every, like, we can't get mad at people for not being who we think that they should be. We have to accept people for who they are, right? So anyway, last year, this time when I had to get rid of some friends, I said, I want friends who show up for me like I show up for them, right? If I have friends like that already, help me deepen those relationships. If I don't have friends like that now, help me attract those relationships. Yes, Vet Skins World says, finally someone who gets it about the funeral thing. Yes, I mean, come on. Like, people always want to show up for the funeral. They want to show up. You want to show up for the funeral, but you don't want to show up for the life. Like, come on now. Make it make sense, right? So I asked God for this. So today, like I told you, I had all this stuff I was going on with my son, right? He's got all these different activities and all these different things I got to do. And because I had to pack his bag and I had to take him to all these different places and I had to do all these different things, I'm like, okay, now I also have to clean my house because I have an event tomorrow, right? And I got people coming in from out of town for it. And I was just so tired. I'm like, I have not really had a lot of sleep, God. Like, I've been running this boy all around the city of Detroit. And like, I just don't have much time for me. And I'm just like tired. I just want to take a nap. And I'm cleaning my house because, again, I got to get the guest room ready because I got friends staying over and all sorts of stuff. And in the middle of that, God was like, this is what you asked for. You asked for people to show up for you. You asked for people to show, and here they are flying in from out of town for you. And you're cleaning the house to provide a welcoming space for the people who are showing up for you. Right? Boggles my mind, right? Like, my cousin has come in from California. My best friend flew in from Jersey. My other friend, I got several friends coming in from Cleveland. I got somebody else that's flying in. They're in Mexico. They flying in from Mexico. And obviously people who are here in the city of Detroit too, right? And so it's like, all these people are here for you, Gwen. These people are here for you. They're showing up for you. They took time away from their families. My cousin currently, I'm so excited, just got engaged. And he also has a baby on the way. And his fiance and him just had the baby shower a couple of weeks ago. And he took time away from that, his new family, right, to fly in from California to be here for me, right? Like, that's showing up, because I'm sure he's a responsibility over here that, like, it's kind of important, right? And not saying that it's less important than mine or mine's less important than hers, but the point is, like, he could be doing anything else, right? That might actually be kind of more pressing. But he's here for me for this event that I'm having tomorrow. My best friend, she's in Jersey. She's got 2 kids. One is kind of special needs. She's got a husband, and she's like, you know what? I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna come. You know, and it's like, how great! This is what I asked for. Like when God, oftentimes when things get removed, not everybody can go with you to the next level of your life, right? Not everybody is going to be equipped. And some people are in your life for seasons. Some are there for reasons, right? And when we lose people, we feel sad and disappointed. But sometimes that's just in the design of things. Like sometimes those people are just not meant to go. And so when I had to lose those friends, I realized they just weren't meant to come. And God replaced them by not only replacing them with new people, but also deepening the relationships I have with current people. Right? So here we are. I'm not stressed out, but I'm a little tired, sweaty, and whatever. Cleaning the house. I'm like, oh my God, clean the house. But here you are cleaning the house, by the way, which is my dream house, right? I live in my dream house. This is the house that I always wanted, that I wanted since I was a little girl, right? So so you're cleaning the house that you wanted. You manifested the house that you wanted, and you're cleaning it for the friends that you wanted. How dare you complain? How dare you complain that you got to clean a house and you're tired? So what? So what? This is what you asked for, right? And so all of that to say, in this very extremely transparent moment that I probably wouldn't have normally come online for, but again, I just felt this force that was like, go tell them that they are currently living in their prayers and their dreams and the things that they wanted, that they've been trying to manifest for, the things that they've been affirming for. And some of them are complaining about it because not even complaining about it because you don't realize that you're living in it, right? Sometimes you're complaining because of the circumstances surrounding it, but you don't realize that those circumstances are due to the manifestation of what you wanted, right? And that's like sometimes maybe a little hard for us to wrap our minds around. But if you really take some time and just sit and not be so busy and not be doing so much, you'll realize that the things that you want are happening to you right now. But again, when you complain, you will get more things to complain about. When you give gratitude, when you show gratitude, when you live in gratitude, you will naturally receive more things to be grateful for. So, all of that to say, I want you to be grateful for whatever your circumstances right now. I could not fathom being grateful for the stuff that I was dealing with last year. I cannot. I cannot fathom, like, why am I in this? What's happening to me? But in retrospect, I am so grateful for it because God told me that despite the financial stuff that I was dealing with and all that sort of stuff, that I was going to be helping people to fix their finances. By the way, I told you all last year, I ended up with hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt that I had to pay back because I closed this business, right? I don't know how God did it. I don't know where it came from, but I can tell you as of today, I am consumer debt free. I have zero consumer debt. I don't know how it happened because I had a lot of it this time last year. But I was diligent. I wrote a plan. I stuck with that plan, right? That's not true. I do know how it happened. I wrote a plan. I stuck with the plan. I feel like God sent me the plan, right? I stuck with the plan. I worked the plan. And I now teach you guys the plan. This is the same plan that I had before when I was just doing just fine, right? Like I said, I've always been very good with money. And so the nice thing about being good with money is that should you get into a challenging situation, you just work the plan again, right? So that's what I did. I worked the plan again. But in the midst of the grief, in the midst of the stress and the trauma, the plan was out the window. The plan, it was just like, how the hell am I going to do this? And God said, work the plan. Do what you've always done. And within 12 months, that debt is gone. I could praise dance right now. And so when I'm teaching you guys about getting out of debt, why this is so important, when I'm talking to you all about investing in your retirement and why this is so important, why I'm teaching you all about saving up for your emergency savings fund, all these things, like, I'm not talking about it from a perspective of principle. I'm talking about it from a perspective of having done it, right? And having done it relatively quickly, okay? And you don't have to be ridden with, debt. You don't have to sit around wondering, feeling stressed out, not able to sleep well at night, wondering how you're going to pay certain things, right? Just work the plan. Hey, Franklin, he says it's very true. We have to stay open to different possibilities of how the dream manifests. That is so accurate. You're so 100% right. And thank you for being here, right? So work the plan. So I'm going to be doing a free 5-day Fix My Finances challenge for you guys in my Facebook group, which is the Get Money Crew. If you're not a member of that group, you're going to want to go join it on Facebook. It's easy to find. Just look for Get Money Crew. And that's going to be coming up in July. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. But I really feel called to help people. And what's so crazy about, oh my gosh, I just had an epiphany. Okay, listen. This time last year, I mean, like I said, I've always been pretty good with money, right? I was not thinking about helping anybody with finances. Like, that wasn't a thing. It was just something I did, whatever. Having gone through what I went through caused me to have to redo everything from scratch, which then made me realize how many other people are in very similar situations, but don't know how to get out of it. Right? And I've always wanted to be a servant for God. And so what better way at this juncture of my life than to teach people how to be stewards, great stewards of the things that he has given them, no matter how much or how little, right? That'll preach. Oh my goodness. I just feel so convicted right now. I'm so grateful. And I just ask God that he bless every single one of you, whether you're watching now or you're watching on replay. I ask that he blesses every single one of you to understand and recognize the blessings that you have been given, because we are all living in a blessing today. Even if your day was the worst, if you had the worst day, the worst week, the worst month of your life, the fact that you are above ground, the fact that you are living, the fact that you have breath in your body is a win, because not everybody woke up this morning. Not everybody got to walk down their stairs or eat breakfast or whatever it is that you did. Not everybody had that opportunity. So the fact that you have that is a win. You are winning right now. Okay? Anything else that was great today is a bonus on top of that. So I want you to make sure that you are grateful for at minimum that. And then everything else that happened to you that was good. And even the things that weren't good. I am so grateful that I went through that challenge. I'm so grateful because having gone through that with the breakup, it allowed me to be I was already intentional about my son, but it allowed me to be even more intentional about making sure that he didn't grow up that way. He was like, a grow up will grow up to be a really good man for someone one day. I think we all hope that for our children, but they'll grow up to be good men and good women, but I became even more intentional about it after that situation that happened to me, right? The fact that I went through the challenge with the money made me more cognizant of the fact that other people deal with this all the time and don't know how to get out of it. And so I have a gift for being good with money. And even though I got into a slump that was unexpected, I got myself out of it. And now I can teach it to you all so that you all don't have to be ridden with it either, because you may not know how to do it. I've gone live twice in the past 2 weeks, and we talked about stocks. And just last Wednesday, a few days ago, I was talking about how people usually use their 401k and their 403bs as savings accounts. Most people didn't even know that they should be investing in order for that money to grow passively. Just that tidbit changed some lives in an hour on Wednesday. Just that little bit of me telling, because people have been living for 40, 50, 60 years, did not know that it's more than a savings account. It's actually an investment account for you to actually grow your money exponentially without you having to do anything. So had I not gone through that, I wouldn't even be talking about this right now. How blessed am I to be able to have that gift? And how blessed are you to have whatever gifts you have that you can bless other people with? I'm off my soapbox. I'm going back to cleaning my house. I just had to get on here and share that. Thank you for watching. Y'all on YouTube, y'all been here the whole time. I appreciate you. Mwah. I love you all. Thank you for allowing me, as you always do, allow me to be transparent. Thank you for your comments, Beverly and Jewel and Franklin. Thank you for being here. And all of you over here on Instagram as well. I'm just living in gratitude. And I'm gonna go. I don't have no closing statement. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Make sure that you subscribe on YouTube. And I'll be live next Wednesday on YouTube with another live. But I have another video coming out on Monday. So every Monday and Wednesday. Mondays are pre-recorded videos. Wednesday are live videos. So make sure that you watch them and help me grow this channel so I can continue to be a blessing to other people as you all are blessings to me. All right. Have a blessed day, everybody. I'm going to go finish cleaning my house. Mwah. Have a great day and great weekend. Bye.